We do this again. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alejandra de la Torre. I'm the Family Engagement Manager for the Colton School District. And the content of our meeting today has the intention to further empower you to support your children, in particular during this distance learning era. And so I would like to thank our panelists. They are a group of experts and district level management individuals who are very supportive of our engagement of families. And I would like to introduce Mr. Gil Diaz. He's our Language Support Services Director.
Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to at least hear most of you. Ale is going to be sharing with you quite a few resources today that will help, hopefully, you and your child at home as we engage in this distance learning. So we hope that you have an opportunity to learn alongside with us. Again, I want to remind all of you to please be patient with us. We too are also learning in this environment. So during this time, we're going to ask you to please post your questions should you have any during the presentation in what's called the Q&A. So there's a question and answers sidebar that you're welcome to post a question, and we've got several staff members, including myself, that will be responding to you individually. Should you want to join in the conversation or share something at a later point, there'll be an opportunity for you to do so. And if you're familiar with raising your hand, next to your name, you should see a little hand that pops up or a question mark. If you choose the hand, we will be monitoring that and we'll turn that mic on for you so that you can join via the WebEx process for us. So again, welcome, and Ale, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Okay, so begin by me sharing my screen with you. We have prepared a presentation to guide us as to the content of today's presentation. And okay, so here it is. Thank you, Mr. Diaz, for asking for patience, because it is something that really comes in handy these days as we learn to live in this new environment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Ale, would you please, reminding you, if you can turn Jeremiah Lack over through the participants as a panelist so he can help us with the questions? You go to participant at the top and assign privilege.
When we have a panelist presenting, I will do that.
Fantastic, thank you.
I'm already sharing my screen. Is that okay?
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, I would like to begin by giving you the news. Some of you have been requesting that our meetings be posted. They are now posted, I'm happy to announce, on our webpage. We have both the English and Spanish versions of the April 6th, the April 13th, and I've already submitted the recording for this morning's meeting, which took place at 11 in the morning in Spanish. And so the content is there for you, and we are definitely listening to the needs of our community when we hold these meetings. You pose very interesting questions that are not only relevant to you, but if you ask the question, our estimation is that many more parents have the same question. So we are also working on the questions that you've asked at the first two meetings. As we learn to navigate this environment better, more efficiently, we know that many of you are getting your responses back as the meeting is taking place. So we just wanted you to know that the meetings are posted, you have access to them. The agenda, this is our plan for today. We will introduce you with an overview of ClassLink, as well as digital tools for English language arts for all three levels that we offer at our school district. That's elementary, middle, and high school. And we also will present to you the environment for mathematics for the three levels as well. An important message that we want to share with you is that we understand that this contingency looks and feels very different depending on our personal situations. Some of you are happy to be home. Others are missing the office and the people in your office and cannot wait to get out. Others may be taking care of family members Some of us are alone practically all day, working in peace and with a quiet environment. Others have small children, and that poses the challenge of keeping them engaged and interacting with them. Well, some of you have to be working from home. Others still have to go to work, etc. But nevertheless, our actions today have implications for the future. And pretty much what I'm referring to is our students. We want to make sure that we make every effort, and we rely on you to make this happen, that we make every effort to keep our students engaged daily in activities that pose learning opportunity, the activities that will result in richer vocabulary, in this continuity of engagement in the curiosity and the learning process in our kids. This too shall pass. And after this passes, when we think of our secondary students, in particular high school, we think it's important that our high school students know that their actions not only will secure them a grade and a score that will have implications for the future with their studies if they are continuing their studies post high school, but also with regards to skills, because if they are engaged continuously, their skills continue to be enhanced. And so that is part of the message that we want to give to you. Please encourage your children to continue to be engaged in learning activities and participate in those activities that their teachers are offering. Something that we have been communicating to every parent is that at this point in 21st century, email has been a great means of communication, but it has become even more important when we don't have access to one another face to face. So we want to highly recommend that you rely on email. The pattern for all CJUSD employees is our first name and underscore last name at CJUSD.net. Email seems to be the best way to be in touch because not only can it be done from a distance, but also because we can reach our email at any time of the day. And so if you send us an email right now and we are at this meeting, we won't respond immediately. But later today, some of us are working at 10 p.m., etc., and we will get back to you. We are here to serve you, and email is definitely something that can help us not only be in touch, but more importantly, serve you and your child. And you can see my email at the bottom left corner of the screen. We are here to help, and we are here to make sure that we make every effort to ensure that your student is having access to what they need and that you are empowered to support your student at home. When we think of the platform that shows the applications and the software that is digital in nature and is related to our curriculum, we think of ClassLink. ClassLink is your student's dashboard to those applications. So I'm going to show you this 3-minute screencast with me. The audio is there.
Ale, it is not.
Oh boy. So, apologies, parents.
Do you have your headset connected to the computer right now, Ale?
Oh, what an important.
Here, no.
In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at ClassLink, the district's new access point for all of your apps and educational software. Most of you will be using a Chromebook when you log into this, but that's okay. The same rules will apply. So from this particular tab here, we are going to go in and take a look at our bookmarks bar. Once you open up a Google tab, you will be able to also see your bookmarks. And every student has this one called CJUSD.net bookmarks. When you click on it, you will notice that you have several different bookmarks, one of which is ClassLink. And so from there, you'll just click on ClassLink. I'll show you another way to access ClassLink in a couple moments. Once you do that, you will sign in with Google. When the sign-in screen appears, just like anytime you log into a district system, you type in your email address, and you follow that up with your password. And then that will bring you into the ClassLink interface. ClassLink looks very much like the app deck on your cell phone. You will notice you have a whole bunch of different apps available for you to use. And so, and some of them are even put into folders for you. So for example, if you want to check out what's at the library, you can click in here and you will see all of these tabs that are all of these apps that are available for library use. If you're looking for any of your Google apps, you can click in the Google folder and you will be able to see all of the Google apps that are available for you to use. And this is just a real easy access point for all of that stuff. That includes your, if you have an English class, that includes your Springboard textbook. That includes access to Read 180 if you're in the intervention course, access to your Google Calendar, and all sorts of different things. So a couple of the features of this is that you can actually juggle and move these around. So for example, let's say you wanted to put your textbooks together. So you could click on Springboard here and hold it just like you would on your cell phones or your tablets, and you could drag it over to another textbook and create a folder. By clicking on the new folder, you can actually double click here and you can type in textbooks. And then hit enter and you're done. Now, folder. You can also move your folders around. So if you don't want them, all over the place, you can add your folder here and then put your other folder here. And you can do that and juggle them just like you do on your cell phones. So as you can see, ClassLink's a pretty easy site to use and to access. Again, all you have to do is go up to the bookmark bar. But there is another way to access this. And that way, so let me log out here and we will log in the other way. The other way to log in is by going to the Colton High School homepage. So if you go to the Colton High School homepage and you click on the Let's Go drop-down box, you'll see that ClassLink is one of the options. By clicking ClassLink, it will take you again back to the same login screen. And from there, you just type in your email and password, and you're good to go. So that's how you use ClassLink, one of the new resources that the district has provided for you to make it easier to get access to all of our important apps.
Maya Dollins produced that screencast, and I would like to say thank you. Ms. Richardson shared with me this tutorial, and we hope that you found it useful. I would like to introduce Ms. Lisa Curtis and Ms. Andy Mooney, who will be presenting on English language arts, and then Kerry Northcott and Nairi Clark, who will present on the math aspect of our elementary level digital tools. And so, ladies, I'm listening and I will advance your slide as necessary. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
So I don't know where Lisa is. She's there somewhere, but I'll go ahead and go on. In order for you to get into your when you're using a Chromebook, in order to get to the math or the ELA, which is the McGraw-Hill or the Go Math, you go through ClassLink and you go and sign in with your Google, as you can see. Go to the next slide, Ali. Now, another way you can do it is through the district page. This is if you have a laptop or a computer. So say you don't have a Chromebook, you can actually do it through the district page under the Let's Go. And if you go down, you'll see that you're going to see ClassLink. So both of the ways that you'll see, you'll notice that they're both the same, going through and signing in with Google. And you can see step one going through the actual link there on CJUSD.net to get to it, and then signing in with Google. Sorry.
Okay.
So the two math curriculums that we have for K through 6 or K through 5 is going to have Go Math, which is through Think Central. And for 6th grade, we have My HRW, which is the whole McDougall online. And that's for 6th through 12th grade.
They'll be able to access the same way from their ClassLink Launchpad. They'll see their icon just like the video showed you on Go Math, or if they're 6th grade and beyond, they will have their MyHRW icon.
Yes, thank you, Carrie.
Yep, just next one.
So when they sign into Google and they go into ClassLink, they're gonna, this is what they see here. So you'll see the Go Math icon. It's blue with the yellow. And then if you click on that, it'll take you to the Go Math. So in Think Central, this is the K through 5, the math resources, there are two things that you're going to see. You're going to see the things to do, and you're going to have a My Library. So the things to do usually are things like what the teacher assigns, things like that, assignments. And My Library are more for resources for the students themselves.
I would just say if a, sorry, I would just say if a student, if a student doesn't see anything that's been assigned to them, that's where they can make sure that their teacher has truly assigned something to them in their classroom.
And I want to add, parents, that teachers will be assigning through Go Math, and the students can go through ClassLink and click on it. And sometimes it will be linked in Google Classroom. So your students will be maybe manipulating two different places, but the work is there.
So as Carrie said, if a teacher has assigned things, then this is what you'll probably see. Things to do, and you will see the assignments that the teacher has actually added into that. So as Nairi mentioned, that's true. You might not see something like this. You might see something through Google Classroom as well. So understand that this is just one way of doing it, but it can also be connected to Google Classroom as well. And this part is with the My Library. So the My Library has several different little icons, a lot of resources for the student to be able to click on, games, different activities, the practice books, things that are there for the student to have access to. Videos as well.
Oops, sorry. This is where we're at, right? Student assignments?
I think you should go back one.
I think so.
Okay, apologies.
That's okay. So that was the K through 5 with the Think Central. This is grade 6. So grade 6 has a little bit different format. And this is the format that you would see for 6th grade for HRW. So you can see that they have their assignments they're going to find in My Notebook. So it's just a little bit different format. However, your teachers, again, might also use Google Classroom as well.
Okay, should I go to the next slide?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Andy, may I jump in for a moment, please? Can you hear me, Andy?
Sure.
So, question for the panelists, in case we have any parents that have a K1, 2, I believe, students, if they're using Seesaw, would they also have access through Seesaw as well as through this process that you're showing us now?
Absolutely. Seesaw is another learning management system, just like Google Classroom, but it is can be easier to use for the littles. But links can be posted within Seesaw, and students will have the ability to find their work in ClassLink as well as Seesaw.
Thank you, Neri. I appreciate you clarifying that for our parents. Thank you.
So this is an example of what the 6th grade would see under My Notebook. So you would see a list of the assignments that the teacher has assigned on there, and they would see a list, just like we saw in Think Central. So the student assignments will all be listed here, again, unless they're using a different platform, such as Google Classroom. Next slide, please.
Okay, wonderful.
So the next icon that you'll see in the 6th grade is the interactive video lessons. So these lessons are through video that the students would be able to interact with, and they go through steps by steps, possibly with a lesson, so that they can learn a certain skill. Next slide, please. This is an example of what you would see in the interactive video. It starts with an engaging part, getting the students interested in what the lesson is. And you can see it's computer guided, and each video is enhanced with different lessons. And you can see the buttons down at the bottom. Those buttons go through, and it goes all the way through the end. Next slide, please.
Good. No? Okay.
No, you're correct. You're good, Allie. And the third icon you see on the 6th grade is the actual student math book themselves. So the students are able to access their book online, and you will see the third icon there. Next slide, please. And this is what the students will see when they access their math book. And you'll see the different icons on the side that they can utilize as well. And it's just like they're having the math book if they had it in class, but it's just digitally.
Okay.
Next one. And the last icon that you see here on the 6th grade are the student resources. So you'll see different resources for the students as well. Next slide. Here is a list of all the different resources that the student can access. A lot of it has to do with the different units, and the units are broken down into modules, and you'll see study guides and assessments as well. I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to next person for Wonders. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we go on to Wonders, just wanted to clarify, for students right now, their teacher has most likely chosen Seesaw or Google Classroom or another platform perhaps of communicating out the different assignments to their students. That is just a platform to communicate what the assignment is. The teacher is actually assigning assignments if they're using these platforms through Wonders and Think Central. So those links that a teacher is posting in Google Classroom or Seesaw is just telling the student, hey, you need to go to these programs and you will see the assignment and complete it on your Think Central or on your Wonders platform. So it's important for the student to get the information of what the assignment is, whether it's on Seesaw or Google Classroom or the platform that the teacher's communicating to, but they will still need to go to ClassLink and log into their Go Math or their Wonders to be able to see the assignment and complete it on that platform.
Thank you, Gary, for that clarification.
Okay, so we're going to talk about our ELA curriculum now. And so we have a dual focus here. So for our students who are in a single language track, English only classrooms, they're going to be using the Wonders curriculum. And our students who are participating in our dual immersion program will have access to Maravillas. They are the same program, it's just that one is completely in English and the other one is in Spanish. Go ahead and change the slide. So similar to the Go Math, the way that you're going to launch this app for them to get into Wonders is through this icon of McGraw-Hill. So step one is to go into the ClassLink portal and click onto the McGraw-Hill icon that you see circled there. It's red and it says McGraw-Hill. Once you've clicked on that, there will be a new browser tab that will open. And in that browser tab, you will see the student edition, which you can see in step 2. That's an example of what the students will see. And they need to click that launch button to open their student edition. Okay, go ahead and advance. And this is what your student will see once they have logged in. This is their student desktop for Wonders. Across the top, you can see some tabs that they can open. My Binder is a place where they can actually find their work and their work gets stored. The Writing and Research tab has resources for them to use in their writing. The Resource tab at the top, that is where they can have access to any of the student resources that are available in the program. And the School to Home letter that you see is kind of off to the left, but in some portals it will actually be at the top of the screen, is where a letter is available for families that just details a little bit about what the students will be learning for the week and gives some resources for spelling lists and comprehension and vocabulary activities. In the middle, that little icon, each grade level will have a different animal that represents their grade level. And then around the outside of their avatar there is going to be their places to find different things. So we're going to go one by one through each of those. So Ale can go ahead and advance the slide and we will get in there. All right, so the first one that I want to talk about is the read icon. And actually it says read here because I had clicked on it or hovered over it with my mouse when I took the screenshot, but it will actually look like a book. And then when the students click on it, it will say read. And that's where you will find all of the reading material for the week. Go ahead and advance the slide. So anything that the students will need for their reading will appear when they click on that read icon. Anything from leveled readers to the actual textbook and anthology that they use for reading. Okay, go ahead and advance the slide. The next thing I want to point out is the vocabulary. It looks like a little block with a W and it's called Words to Know. That's where you'll find the vocabulary list for the week. You can advance. And in that vocabulary list, this is what will appear, and it's interactive. So if the students were to click on one of the words, a new screen would pop up and they would see either a picture or a video that they could start that would explain the meaning of the word and also give an example of how the word is used. Okay, go ahead and advance. In the adaptive learning, there are many learning activities that are available and they are fine-tuned to students' ability level. So as the student is playing these games, the game will adjust to what they are doing and either give them something harder if they're achieving well, or give them something a little bit easier if they need more support. Advance. There's another set of games called learning games, and those are found with a little game controller icon there. You can go ahead and advance that. It includes the adaptive learning games, but it also has some other games that go with the skills of the week. So for example, here you can see that they have some phonics games where students can hone their phonics skills by playing a little matching game. Go ahead and advance that one. All right, and then the Writing Resources Center has many resources for our students to use in writing. It has many lessons for them where they can actually watch a short video that describes a type of writing or a writing skill. There's also some rubrics there that they can use to help them judge their own work, as well as some sample graphic organizers and exemplar or model text that they can use to guide them to let them know if they're on the right track as they're doing their writing. Go ahead and advance. And again, at the top, the student resources. This is a great resource because, go ahead and advance, Ale. If you click on that, you are going to get access to all of the student resources that are within the program, including all of the games, all of the leveled readers for that grade level, all of the textbooks for that grade level, the worksheets for that grade level, the writing for that grade level. So they do give them quite a bit of resources that they can actually just look at on their own. Okay, you can advance. The My Binder, again, is another place where you can find their work. So when they open their binder, the very first page that they come to is their to-do list, and that will have everything that the teacher has assigned that they have not completed. And you can also see some green check marks there to indicate that they have done that work. And My Work, if you go to the next, oh, you can't go to the next slide. Forgot this wasn't live. I'm so used to looking at it live. That's so weird. And then in the My Work section, they can find all of their past work, as well as finding when they're working in their student editions, their ebooks. And so they have the capability to actually be written in electronically by the students. And so in that tab that says My Work at the top of the screen, if they click on that, then they will be able to open their student editions and begin to work in those student editions. And then again, the school to home letters, I have an example on the next slide of what you will see when you click on the school to home letters. So it gives you some information in a letter format, and then on the side there, on the left, you can see that they give a little comprehension check, access to a spelling list, as well as a word workout for vocabulary.
And ladies, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Can we please move on to English language arts for middle school and high school? And I welcome Ms. Richardson.
Hi there, I'm Mary Beth Richardson. I'm, like Miss Ale said, the English language arts, I guess, runner of the asylum for the secondary folks. For here, I'm going to show you the two different curricula that we use for middle school and for high school. First, for middle school, we use the curriculum called ClassLink. Next, please. As always, like the ladies before pointed out, you'll log in through ClassLink. Next, please. And when the student logs in, they find this first step. You have to click on the ClassLink logo, and then another hello, click again, comes up, and they launch the actual site for ClassLink from this second step. Next, please. When they launch the app, then they come to the student homepage. Here's a quick tour of that too. The first page, actually, can you go back to that first one? Oh wait, I'm sorry, this is the student homepage. Beg your pardon. So on the very top, students can see their assignments. They have a binder like you saw with the Wonders for Elementary, and a library, which is much like a collection of resources and other independent reading books. The place where most students will work and live is here in assignments. So when your student opens up their homepage, you will see their assignments all there on the, it says hi, whatever the student's name is, and it'll say what's due. And there are a list of those icons underneath that students can click on. So when they do click on assignments, next, please. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry, the previous one. There we go.
Yes, I apologize. I believe there's this fraction of a second. I had already switched it, but
okay,
it's not
great.
visible immediately. Apologies.
Great.
We're figuring this out.
Yes, thank you. So for when they click the assignments, it'll bring them to the first thing that the teacher has assigned to them. And again, like the ladies were saying before, students will mostly be working from Google Classroom, where the teachers will list those assignments and will direct the students over to this app through ClassLink to access the textbook and the assignments themselves. So here, there are 5 steps that a student goes through when they are assigned a certain text with skills that are attached to it. Next, please. The first step is always read. So there is a first read, and in this first read, you can see that the students can annotate the text. They may highlight it, make notes on the side, and put symbols on that stand for different things that they're pointing out or looking for. Next. The third step is some kind of watch or a video presentation or what they call Sync TV, which is a demonstration of students discussing the skill that students are applying to the text that they are reading. Then the fourth step, next, is where, oh no, you're right, is
That's right.
yeah, well, actually, go Sync TV and then go to the next one. Yeah, I didn't say the right one because the right is very much like this, the fourth and fifth step. So they have some sort of think questions or think prompts. This one here is a video prompt that the students will watch, interact with, and can type in their responses directly into the into this app, or they can use a Google Doc and submit it to the teacher separately through their classroom. StudySync gives you that option to go either way. Next, please. And then they end with a close read, students do. And this is where they go in to read the text a second time, interact with it on a more cognitively deep level, and also write about it in with some more demanding prompts and higher complexity tasks that they have to do. Next, please. So to wrap up StudySync, families at home, if a teacher says to you, I'm sorry, if a parent, your student says to you, oh, I don't have any work, say, hey, open up StudySync and you can look at all of those different screens and yes, I see you do have stuff assigned to you, so keep them on track, please. Now let's move on to high school. For high school, we use the text Springboard. And for Springboard, as always, you log in through ClassLink, and this is the icon for Springboard that a student will see. When they open up Springboard, this is the first page. They see it's their student dashboard. The place where students will live most here in Springboard is on my bookshelf and the orange underneath that, my calendar and assignments. So let's take a look at my bookshelf first. Next. When they open up their bookshelf, they select their text there on the left, and then on the right you see a screenshot of the table of contents, and it will have all of the textbook listed for them, but their assignments will show up in each of the units where they are currently studying. So next, please. When they open up a certain text or activity that they are assigned, they are able to interact with it, again, like StudySync, with highlighting, annotations, and instead of notes on the margin, they have a thing called sticky notes. Next, please. In the second place that I mentioned, my calendar and assignments, is where students can find all the lessons and assignments that go with each of those. Next. This is one of many pages that a student will see with their assignments. You can see on the tabs at the top, there are the dates for the week, and students just navigate through those to see what assignments they have each day. They take a gander at the lesson, and it's basically like looking into the teacher's lesson plan. And on the right, you see that the students have a link to their assignments. It brings you directly to that page, and the student gets to work. So in short, that's a view of the most frequently used features that your English students will engage with when they are doing their language arts work at home. Thank you and take care.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. And I would like to welcome Ms. Denise Shida. She's our secondary curriculum program specialist in the area of mathematics. Welcome, Ms. Shida. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much, and good afternoon.
Thank you.
So I want to talk just briefly, because so many of my items have already been addressed. I want to talk about ALEX, the math curriculum, and the Google Classroom, and mainly in how to access those three. You can advance it. The first one is ALEX. So parents, you're probably familiar with me emailing you or the phone calls going home over third quarter. What we used in March Madness was the platform called ALEX. So in fourth quarter here, March Madness has ended, but ALEX has not. So every single student still has access to ALEX. So if you have a 7th grade student, they are in a 7th grade math class in ALEX. I have also asked the teachers if they wanted to also use ALEX themselves instead of the students with me. And so about half of all of these 7th through 12th grade teachers have chosen to take on ALEX. So those students are with the teacher, but the rest of the students are still with me and still in their original classes from January 6th. I'm going to advance. Aldi? So as you had heard many times, but I could just say it again, here's one way that they can get to ALEX. So if they're on a laptop, a desktop, their phone, they can go to their school website, go to Let's Go. Ellie? Go to ClassLink. Next. And then they will log in using Google. But I'm going to stop right here for a second. If they have a Chromebook, this is the first page that they're going to see. So they get to skip the other pages. So they're going to go ahead and sign in with Google. Next. And then they're going to look for this app. And then once they find this app, they just click on it. From here, their passwords have already been saved. So during March Madness, during third quarter, about a quarter of all of the secondary students, which is a quarter of the 10,000 students we have, already went ahead and logged into ALEX. And so their passwords are safe, but so is the other 3/4 of the students. They just click on and they're ready to go. Go ahead and continue. For the math curriculum for 7th grade accelerated, and 8th grade math is the Go Math curriculum, just as it is with the 6th grade. For the high school, it is Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. Next. They too will find these links the same way. Go to Let's Go, next. ClassLink, next. Again, if they have a Chromebook, next. And then they're going to look for this same app that was just discussed earlier for 6th grade. It covers the 7th grade, the 8th grade, and the Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2, including Honors Geometry and Honors Algebra 2. Now, in high school, High school, the math teachers are using a variety of items. So some could be using Alex, some could be using the math curriculum. Some of them could be going through Google Classroom. In fact, probably many of them are. So let me go over that one next. Go ahead, next. So with Google Classroom, I'm not going to go through the steps I already have with the last two and what we've already done throughout the hour of this presentation. They get into ClassLink the exact same way. And to the right is the icon that they're going to look for this time, which is the Google. And when you click on that Google app, it's going to open up what you see to the left at the bottom. Then they're going to go on Google Classroom. But in Google Classroom, this is where they could skip the other steps. Once they get to Google Classroom, here is where they could get the Go Math products. They could also get the Alex products. So it could be that they're going to enter through Google Classroom and not through the other two ways. But the beautiful thing is to get to Google Classroom, it still is through ClassLink. Next. And if there is any concerns or issues with them entering or not being able to see what's going on, all they have to do is contact our math teacher, or you can go ahead and contact me at the email shown below. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sheila. And just so that we can go back to our screen, because no one knows this, but on this end, when we share our screen, we don't see anything. It's quite the experience. You feel like you're blind. So apologies, I don't see what's taking place at the Q&A, but I just want to remind anyone who joined us at a later moment, after we had started our session at 3 p.m., that as we had promised and per the request of many parents, our meetings are posted at our homepage, CJUSD.net. You see on the screen the little icon that very much reminds us of the theme for our presentation today, is where you will see the April 6th, 13th, and today's will be posted as well in English and Spanish. Our Spanish sessions are taking place at 11 in the morning, and our English sessions are taking place at 3 p.m. Let me then go back to our screen where I can see what is happening. And I will stop sharing my screen. Anything you would like to add, Mr. Diaz, or any of our panelists?
Not so far. I think we're monitoring the Q&A on the side, so doing good.
Thank you. So I would just like looking into the future because it seems so much more uncertain than we know the future always is. We want to reassure you that our next meeting is in its planning stages, and it is also one that will offer all our families a topic that is relevant to the experiences that we are having at this moment, with parents being at home, with students being at home, with some individuals working from home, with others who are not working due to this contingency, and how we navigate and how we respond versus react to this moment in life that we are experiencing. And so as soon as we can finalize the approval for the meeting, the agenda, etc., I will be sure to send everyone, all of our parents and guardians, notices. What I did this time was that I added a visual to the communication. I send voice, text, email, and it pushes through the app, as well as on our webpage and our social media platforms through our communications department. We want to be certain that as many parents as possible can participate and benefit from the information we provide. I would like to remind you that when there is a need for an adjustment, that you primarily reach out to your child's teacher or teachers. If there's still a need for adjustment, then you follow, please, the chain of command. All of us are here to serve you, and it is in the best interest of all of us that we support our students to the degree that after this moment that they are successful and that they are resilient and that they recover from this experience that we never would have imagined would be part of our memories one day. And with that, if there are no questions pending, I would like to thank everyone for your attention, for your time. The most valuable thing we have is not only our health, but also our time. So thank you for investing some of your time with us. We hope to see you soon. Yes?
I'm going to jump in. I'm sorry. I was going to ask parents if they would like to pose a question or ask if they raise their hand in the chat, we can unmute them and they can we can hear their questions. So can you please unmute Martina Garcia? Martina.
Okay. Martina, your microphone is open. Welcome and thank you for your time.
Hi.
We are listening.
Okay, I had a quick question.
Hello.
Hello. As far as for the high school, like my daughter, she's in high school and she's been emailing her teachers, but there's a one she can't get on. So the teacher told her to skip it until that the website will come back up to, be able to log in because she wasn't able to log into it. So will that affect her as far as turning it in when it does become available to log in?
What I would do, pending other panelists' suggestions, would be reach out to the teacher as a parent and let the teacher know that you can verify that your child has attempted to complete the assignment, and if this teacher can be flexible with regards to the submission, and then take it from there. I believe all of us are in a moment of extreme flexibility. And